This is a cold open before we actually start the show. Uh-oh.
Yeah.
DJ Jazzy Greg on the ones and twos.
Yeah, on the what?
Oh, yeah.
That was terrible. We'll just drop the show intro. On that note.
Oh, hey, welcome to the Guys Who Cry podcast. Sorry, I was trying not to do the typical radio talk show voice I can. It's the only accent I can do.
He went right into it. He went right into it.
I can only do that or a southern accent.
Shock jock.
Yeah, college shock jock. I can only do that or a southern accent. Well, how y'all doing?
Let me hear you. That's your southern voice.
We're down here in Myrtle Beach, taking it a little slower than we do up north. Y'all Yankees up north in Delaware.
That's good.
Yeah, you know.
My voice is a little bit more effeminate. I call it the southern woman at the church potluck voice.
Oh, okay.
And it's like, oh, I see you eating that cornbread. You know what the secret is? The secret is you take fresh corn right off the husks and you keep them cobs and you make a little cream out of it and you put that cream right into the cornbread mix.
Ooh.
I know. It's crazy. And yes, that's the voice. It's just like very
baby girl,
very like soft and like, you know.
You turning me on with that. Oh, I'm thinking about that cornbread. It sounds so good. What's it called when you do the thing with the corn? You husk the corn, you shuck the corn.
Yeah, sometimes you have to do it faster and slower.
You go like that. It's like the Charles Barkley thing. Remember when he does the eating how do you eat the churros? Oh, I eat the churros like that. Oh, inside sports reference. I don't even watch sports, so it's okay.
Maybe Greg can put a little. Yeah, maybe Greg can put up a little like GIF of Charles Barkley.
I'll show you what I mean. It's like he doesn't know. He doesn't. I don't know if he knows what he's doing or not. I guess he does, but
I'm
wearing my Eagles hat today though. But I really don't care that much.
Yeah. Oh my goodness. Yeah. Sorry. I'm not a big sports fan either. Well, I am a big sports fan. I'm a big enough sports fan that I can talk about sports. You know what I mean?
Yes.
Like I know enough about sports to like have a conversation. But I'm a Dolphins fan. I like the Sixers. You know, I like Philly teams, but I don't know. I just like, I don't have to like sit down and watch a game. I think for me, like that, I don't have the attention span. I've realized I'm really ADHD as I've gotten older.
It's okay to do. It's okay to do when you're with friends and you have to watch it. It's
totally
like,
different.
This is fine. Yeah, this is fine. Well,
totally there's a bowl of chips that you and I can just sit there and eat chips and talk. Be like, oh, dude, what just happened? Da 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 da. You know,
like that one time you made that chorizo dip, and I was on a diet, dude. And I went off my diet.
The whole dip
destroyed me. It was amazing. It was so
gosh,
good.
dude, I need to go on a diet, man. Greg's been killing it.
Speaking of that, Greg, you look awesome, by the way. You have been running and training for a half marathon. Is that right?
Half marathon. Thank you. Yeah.
Yes.
Philadelphia Love Run in March. So we'll see if I survive.
he and I have been doing some podcast testing, as our Instagram followers can attest to, and then we would go to the gym afterwards at night so he could train for the marathon. So how's it going? How much weight have you lost in the last few months?
I think I'm down maybe 15 to 18 pounds.
Dude, wow. That's wild. How do you feel? Like mentally, self-image, all that?
Good.
Huh.
It's sad, It's sad. I link so much of self-image to like that. It's just like, you're no different. You're the same person. The software is still the same up here,
Yeah, but it's just, but the software is still the same, but the cover might be more attractive to you, Sometimes you gotta update the album art. I don't know. That's true.
It's funny.
That's not really a thing.
Update the album art. Well, you guys are both in relationships. So Greg's married, Ruben is in a relationship. Being single, it's funny. I typically gain weight when I'm in a relationship, and I feel like I need to like lose weight and be skinnier or whatever when I'm single because it makes me feel better about myself. Like I'm like, well, I don't have a girl to feel good about, so I have to feel good about something.
I think that's definitely part of it. I think part of it too is like the job I'm working now. I work more hours than I have been working, but I don't have the time to go to the gym in the morning before work. I don't have time to go to the gym after work, and it's okay though. I mean, it'll come back, whatever the next step is to make health a priority again. I mean,
are you guys morning people? Could you work out in the morning? I hate it. I can't do it.
I can.
You can?
I've done it.
I can. I like getting my day started off like that. And it's easier to make better decisions throughout the day for me.
That is so true. The program I'm doing, like Weight Wise, it talks about that and how if you start off with good decisions early in the morning, it's a lot easier to continue that throughout the day. So that there's a lot of truth to that, actually.
That's true.
Yeah.
I used to do it in high school. My brother and I would get up at like 6 a.m. and I would fall asleep every day after lunch. So much so that my teacher thought something was wrong with me, and she told my parents like, "Hey, we're not mad. I just something must be wrong with Adam because he falls asleep in class every time after lunch." I'm like, "Yeah, because I'm effing tired." And then I stopped working out in the morning. But do you guys get more energized throughout the day if you work out in the morning?
I do, yeah, wow. And I think I get on a better sleep schedule too. There's something to be said about circadian rhythm in check and all of that.
True.
Yes. I definitely need to I want to start getting up at 7:30 and at least going to the gym in my neighborhood and just walking on the treadmill for an hour or something just to mentally prepare for the day,
And that's not too physically taxing that you're exhausted afterwards. It just kind of gets you going.
Right.
Greg,
I'm trying to make better decisions.
Greg, I was going to ask you, what was the trigger? Was there a switch that flipped in your brain that's okay, I got to lose weight. I got to train for a marathon. What was the event? What precipitated that decision?
It's been coming for quite a few years. I got into this. So in, I don't know, what was it? 2010, I got Lyme's disease, and my knee kept blowing up. I was running. The doctor was like, "Oh, you're running too much. You're overtraining. You're overrunning." And by about the third time, them draining fluid out of my knee, they were like, maybe we should send you for a panel. And they did. And then, at that point, they were like, "Oh my God, you've had Lyme disease. You've had it for a long time." And I was like, "I know when I got it." I said, "I got it back in October of 2009 because I was sick with what I thought was the flu. And I had a fever for 2 weeks straight. I think I lost 20 pounds because I didn't do anything but sleep. And it was just my whole body ached. I didn't have any respiratory or any stomach stuff. It was all just intense pain and fever."
Yeah. That was 2010 though.
That was 2009.
Yeah.
2012 was when they finally detected
the Lyme's disease.
Yeah. So I let that sideline me for a long time. I stopped running. And then the whole PSVT thing I talked about last time, that flared up around that time. And I think I threw a kind of a bit of a self-pity party and was like, "Oh, I'm messed up. I can't run right now on this." And I stopped. And then, you get out of shape and then it's very easy to keep that going. And then you get down on yourself because you're like, "Oh, I want to get back to it, but I don't want to start over again. I was here.
Yeah.
And now I'm here, and I finally just said, you know what? You've got to embrace the suck, as people say, and just deal with it, and it'll get better. It'll get better fast. And it did. It got better quick, and it started probably back in September, August. My mother-in-law got us into this study with University of Pennsylvania where they track our steps.
That might have done it. So that was okay.
And they started pushing me to do 10,000 steps a day.
So you started wearing the tracker, you started tracking your steps, and just that little bit of momentum kind of made you think more about it and want to take it more seriously. That's awesome.
Yeah.
That's awesome, man. Oh, I think Adam's crying.
Oh my God.
That was such a... that's really...
This is the first time I've cried 2 months. And nobody loves me, except all the girls I projected on the dating apps. I'm joking. I'm just making fun of myself. Come on.
No respect.
I'm making fun of myself. I really haven't cried in a long time, though. I probably should. I could listen to some country music and cry. Country music does it for me.
Oh, man. Speaking of country, Toby Keith recently died.
Oh, that was crazy.
Yeah.
Red Solo Cup.
I didn't really expect that. He had cancer, right? Wasn't he struggling with
stomach cancer? Yeah.
God, that's wild, man.
He had that song, I want to talk about me, you want to talk about, I want to talk about number one on my knee. It's such a good song. My brother and I loved it. And I think, it's kind of a sad thing. I texted my parents and stuff. And I was like, man, that's kind of sad.
It's a shame. Yeah. Oh, that's a shame. No, it is
life.
Sad, yeah. But it does help us to appreciate the things that we have. Our next topic. Worst TV show couples. That was the worst transition ever. Sorry.
I don't know if you guys know, I gave Adam a book during Christmas called Segways for Dummies. And you can tell he hasn't been reading it.
I get an F for segways.
Speaking of segways, let's seg on way.
Seg on way.
I'm not a good person with segways either.
No, I mean, it's stupid. I don't know. I had to ruin it by blowing my nose. Sorry, everybody.
Well, okay, so when we were trying to talk about topics, though, for this week, we talked about a couple different things. And this topic, I think, is really funny because I feel like I have a pretty hot take for what I think is a really terrible TV couple that everybody else idolizes.
Yeah. I hate
me,
you for this, but okay.
I know. And for me, that's Jim and Pam from The Office. And here's the thing, okay? Everybody talks about Jim and Pam's story. It's so sweet. It's so cute. Here's the thing. When Jim met Pam, she was already engaged.
True.
Then they start having this little flirty back and forth. The whole relationship is really toxic from the get. He leads her on, she leads him on, and then, you know, she definitely like flirts with him outrightly multiple times, but she's in this engagement to Roy, right? Who Roy is not a good guy either, and I get it. But the whole relationship, even like up to when they get together, is very toxic. Like Jim is dating Karen and then leaves her in New York to drive back to Scranton to ask Pam out on a date.
Yeah.
Like kind of immature stuff, if you ask me.
Isn't that how it goes, though? I mean, you know, until that ring is on the finger, man, I mean, it's all fair game.
Okay, but Adam, imagine driving to New York with your girlfriend and then through an interview, you're like, I don't want to do this job anymore. And you just leave your girlfriend in New York, drive 3 hours back to Scranton to ask out a girl when you're not even technically broken up yet.
That's funny. I've seen The Office so many times. I'm trying to remember exactly how it went. But do we assume that he had the conversation with Karen to break it off? I guess I think as long as you have the conversation, it's okay.
They didn't have the conversation to break it off. He just left her in New York, drove to Scranton, and in the season 5 premiere, he was like, "Yeah, she was really upset that I left her in New York," and the whole thing was just kind of like. Yeah. I don't know. To me, I feel like the whole time, like, and every time I watch it, I'm like, they're just a weird couple. Like, they just seem like, okay, Jim takes his job in Philly, or like all of these things where it just felt like these are conversations you guys should have. Jim buys a house without her knowing.
Yeah. Well,
I mean, there's some pretty terrible behavior there.
No, you're right. I agree with that. But what is funny is that there's, every time I talk to people about relationships, the craziest stuff happens. And I'm like, who would think to make a decision like that? Like, who would buy a house without consulting their spouse first, you know? But I guess people do that kind of stuff. I don't know.
Yeah, and I guess, I don't know. I to me, it just doesn't seem like a healthy thing to do. Unless, like, you had bought that house before. If you're going to spend a certain amount of money to buy a house with a partner, they should be involved in that decision-making.
100%.
In my opinion, right?
You could do it as a surprise, but only if you know exactly what they want already.
Yeah, have you ever seen that SNL skit where it's like, I bought it's the December to Remember event at Lexus dealership, and she's like, we can't afford this car. Like, you bought a car?
But I do think that stuff happens probably more times than we realize.
It probably does.
It's not good though.
But
yeah.
No, it's not good. It's not healthy at all. Like,
do you think it's a man thing, a guy thing?
I don't know. What about all the Instagram reels of women going to Target and buying stuff without their partner's consent? I see that joke a lot.
True.
You know,
I was going to say, I feel like as a male, we tend to be more guilty of that type of stuff. We're like, oh, I'll just go make this major life decision. And
bought the Corvette without the wife's approval.
Yeah,
which is bad.
But
I'm not saying that's a good thing.
I think everybody does that.
That's true.
You know, it's like we're individuals in a relationship, you know, completely different people. And so you're like, I want to do what I want to do. And like, I'll see if I can get away with it, you know, but it's not that it's good.
Well, yeah, I don't know. To me, they're just not a good couple. To me, the best couple on that show is Phyllis and Bob Vance, but that's just me.
Yeah, but they're a little suffocating though, right? It's like, okay, who's that lovey-dovey with each other all the time, you know? Which, I mean, there are people that are like that, sure, but... well, actually, actually, Ruben, you guys are kind of like that.
Oh my gosh.
No, but it's not bad. But it's cute. I'm saying it's like highly idealized, but we talked about this before, like the Hollywood style relationship, like that's a real, like, love is a real thing, you know? And I think, you know, when you find that, that's what it looks like.
Yeah, it's interesting, I think, moving from relationships where, like, in the past were like very toxic for me, and like moving into a healthy relationship, it has been crazy to see how much I was actually abused in the past.
Wow.
Because it's just the way I think for day-to-day things.
The relative difference is probably huge. Yeah.
Yeah, like just like having trust. And like sometimes that trust for me turns into insecurity. And then I'm like, oh man, like, am I good enough? Am I good enough? And that's because in the past I had been made to feel less than.
Right. Right.
But now I'm not, so it's interesting. Yeah. So I do think those kind of relationships exist out there.
Yo, 100%.
But for me, what I always hated about Jim and Pam is I felt like people always idealized them. I just did Pam looking for my Jim. And it's like, yeah, but like sometimes you're with Roy.
Yeah.
And then like, remember, and I don't know if you remember in the later season, they get invited to Roy's wedding. Jim and Pam.
Yeah.
And Pam is just like trashing Roy. And then like kind of gets a little jealous because Roy like learned the piano, lost weight, has a successful business, has a nice house. And like she starts to get like, yeah, she was like, where was this Roy? And it's like, well, why do you care?
Well,
you should be happy that he got better.
Well, and that's what people don't realize. It's like I can be resentful that my partner left me and moved on, or my relationship with someone was bad and they went on to meet somebody else. It's like, and they're happy in a future relationship. It's like, because they weren't meant to be with me. Like they found someone who actually made them better than I made them, And I think that can happen. People can be toxic together. They break up and be like, oh, they'll never find someone as good as me. But it's like, no, they weren't meant to be with you. They were meant to be with somebody else. And that other person made them a better person, I think that absolutely can happen. I hate when people are resentful about that kind of stuff, Like let your person go and let them be with somebody better.
Yeah, or just better for them.
That's what I mean. Better for them. That's exactly what it is.
Yeah, and I think that's okay.
Better for them. Man. Greg, I never asked you about your wife's previous relationships. Like when she met you, did she have a comparison to old relationships where she felt like you were, much better for her than her old partners, or did she talk about how they were toxic or anything? And not that you want to go into it if you don't want to.
She didn't talk a whole lot about her past relationships.
Okay.
Eventually we talked about it, but
it was like uneventful or not.
Yeah, somewhat uneventful. Yeah. I mean, she had one thing that was kind of an abrupt, rough ending.
Sure.
But, no, besides that, I mean, I'll put it this way. Things were definitely better with me.
Yeah, you're a better fit. Yeah. Well, and I don't have any negative.
Not to toot my own horn.
And not you, Ruben. I don't have any real negative experiences with my past relationships. Like they were all really good people. And even if they didn't work out, like they're all with better people now. So, but again, better fits for them. Like I think it's important for us to not take it personally. If someone from our past goes on to be with somebody else, it's like they were a better fit. They found their puzzle piece. And a better puzzle piece, is a, fit for me someday.
Yeah.
So.
And, it's crazy because, man, I never thought it could be this good. And I'm sure, Greg, you feel that way. You're like, I don't get how this is real. But it is. And it's cool once you just put yourself out there and like, you realize what your self-worth is, what you should want in a relationship, and like how you want to communicate, and like, if that person doesn't communicate in a way that you don't like, you can talk about it in a respectful way and having open conversation. It's all crazy things that Jim and Pam did not have. Adam, okay, so don't be mad at me because Jim and Pam
they were definitely insufferable sometimes. Where it's like, who would act this way? It's a little odd.
And Jim is a bully. Like no one should get away with no one should get away with what he got away with doing to Dwight. And the one time Dwight got revenge on him, he made Dwight out to be like a serial killer, but it's like, bro.
Yeah.
Like you spent all this time.
They did realize that at one point. Like you remember Jim made that like epiphany where he was like, oh my God, I'm the A, from like that.
I've been kind of a jerk, right?
Yeah. Well, you guys, Ruben, you mentioned that Reddit thing. Am I the A-H?
Yeah.
Oh, right. Yeah.
And like Jim was making that. Yeah, the butthole.
Yeah.
So we try to keep it PC, right? No, but just he basically realized he like looked back at all the things he had done to Dwight and he was like, wow, I'm the jerk. Dwight's just a little quirky, but I'm the one that's the instigator of all this crap.
Yeah. Like the one where he puts, this is so unhinged. The prank where he's like, oh yeah. He's like, I hit myself in the face today with my phone. I suspect Jim. And Jim's like, oh yeah, I put nickels in his receiver over time.
Yeah, it's
and then
awful.
so I used to the weight, and then one day just took them all out. Like, that's not cool, dude.
It's awful.
No.
Can you imagine somebody actually
really
doing that? You're all in your place of work. Yeah, get reported to HR right away.
Right away.
What are some other relationships? I mean, I watched Seinfeld a lot, so I mean, I was always jealous of Jerry, how many different girls he could date like every other week. It's like with a different girl all the time. Like, how does he find all these?
Yeah,
I can't think of other relationships.
And in that scenario, like, wasn't he just like a moderately successful comedian? Right? Like, he wasn't even like popular.
Well, he was on the Tonight Show one time in the show, I think. So I guess he was on his way. His rise to fame was, progressing. But yeah. What about Friends? Did you watch Friends much?
I did. And I liked it. I didn't like how they portrayed Monica, because Monica was like a chef in the show. So I just have thoughts when I see like
you are very
representations of
particular
chefs.
about. Wait, what was the representation? I'm curious.
Okay, she had so much free time, and she was like an executive chef. And like, yeah, come on, bro. You know how much free time I have.
That's not a stereotype I've heard about chefs. Yeah.
Like, we don't have that much time to go to a coffee shop at all times. I don't know. The whole concept of that show was cool, though. I did like that show. I thought it made a lot of good, like, impactful moments.
Were they all kind of with each other at one point? Like, did they kind of date each other? Were they more exclusive?
Phoebe, I feel like, was the only one who like was never really involved in any of like the love. But Monica is like Monica and Chandler, and then Rachel was with both Joey and Ross.
Okay, she was with both of them. Yeah.
Yeah.
Which is, again, that's a common story too of, friends getting with other friends, or it's like, oh, you break up with me and then you date my friend, and it's I always wonder how I would feel if that would happen to me. Because I know people who have dated siblings, like dated one sibling and then broke up and then dated the other sibling.
Oh my gosh.
I know people have done stuff like that, which I guess anything you can get used to over time, but like, I mean, that's stuff that happens. It happens. Yeah.
Yeah, I felt like that whole, like, every time I watch like a group, like How I Met Your Mother, I'm like, I have never seen friend groups like that in my entire adult life. Where it's like, we're just 5 people, and sometimes we date multiple of each other. We have sex with multiple of each other. It's like that, like the episode, like there's an episode of How I Met Your Mother where like he runs into like an old girlfriend. She's like, oh, like how are things with Robin? He's like, oh, I broke up with Robin. And she was like, oh, you don't hang out with her every day. He's like, nope, I hang out with her every day. And he was like, in fact, Robin hangs out with her ex every day. She's like, oh, you? And he's like, oh no, Barney. And she was like, oh, well, you guys don't all 3. He's like, yep. We all 3 hang out all the time together.
Wow.
Like, I've never seen anything like that in real life.
Real life, yeah. I mean,
in real life,
yeah, I'm sure.
I don't know. How do you feel about like keeping in touch with your exes? Like,
it depends. Again, if there's feelings or still like a really strong attachment or attraction, and you can't help but fool around, like I think that can be difficult. But if you've gotten to a point where you don't do that stuff anymore and you can accept each other being with other people, I think it's fine to like maybe keep in touch.
Yes.
And obviously it depends on if you're dating someone seriously, it depends on how they feel about it, obviously. Like if I dated a girl and she's like, I keep in touch with an ex, he's really nice, he's very respectful, we don't do anything, we haven't done anything in years, just a nice person. Like I think it's fine to probably keep in touch, like maybe coffee once in a while, but like I'd have to be real secure in the relationship. I don't know. How do you feel about it?
Dude, that is tough because like I mean, for me, exes are like, okay, if I see you out and about, I'll be cordial.
Yeah.
But I'm not like reaching out, hey, how are you? Hey, how you been?
I'm
not doing any of that.
Necessary.
Like to me, it's not necessary. And like, I've always found it weird when I've seen, and I've dated people like this in the past that I felt like were friends with their exes, and it was just always weird when they would like see each other, and I'm like, this is weird. I feel like it's a comfortability thing. Obviously, there's like there's polygamy and stuff out there. So some people are comfortable with it.
Oh, sure.
Just for me, I'm just like, I don't know.
Well, what I think is odd too is that, again, at least when I'm in a relationship, like that person is my priority, even in a sense over my friends. But I mean, what I mean by that is like I'm considering the feelings of my partner in a way that's maybe slightly higher than my friends, but hoping that I'm with someone who respects the fact that I have my own life, I have my family, I have my friends. But again, like if you marry somebody and you have kids, I don't think there's anyone more important than your partner and your kids. I mean, maybe your parents to some degree, but again, it's a shared priority. And if your parents really like the person you're with, they will understand that, you know? What do you think? What do you guys think? I don't know. I don't know.
Repeat that again?
Just that, what's the order of priority of people in your life? Like, are parents always first, even if you're with a significant other? Or is your significant other first? Your friends first? Is there an order for you guys?
I don't... Like, what do you mean by first? So, like, if you call me and Liz call me at the same time, are you giving me like a paradigm? Like, you know what I mean?
See,
like,
I would say you talk to your girl first. I would say she's a priority.
But like, yeah, she's a priority. But I think there's room for everybody to be.
That's right.
Some level of importance.
I think you're right.
I think it's hard to like rank them.
You're right.
Because like, if you call me tomorrow, I'm like, dude, I just got in a really bad car accident. Like, I'm gonna take a couple of days off from work and drive like as soon as I can to get there.
Right.
Like, and obviously the same with Liz. Like, I think it's hard to like rate those.
No, you're right.
Obviously, like your partner and your life partner should be the most important person. Then like, it's really hard for me to rank importance because everybody's important to me. Like, all my friends are important to me. All my family's important to me. My girlfriend's important to me. It's just hard to kind of rank those because I don't really know how to like quantify that.
Well, and I think you don't really have to, as long if your family and your friends and your partner all allow there to be room for each other in your life, then I think you're fine. The only trouble you run into is when, you know, my buddy and I will talk about this. We're both single guys, and it's like, oh, Adam, when you get a girl, you're going to disappear, you know? And I have buddies who have done that for a time, and then they come back and they come hang out. And I understand that. You find a new love, a new relationship. Like, it takes all your time and your attention, and it's wonderful. Like, I want my friends to experience that, so I give them the space to experience that. And so if my buddy disappears because he finds a really great love, I'm like, hey, that's fine. Go ahead. Like, you should be with her, and then come hang out with me whenever you have time. You know, like, I'm not going to be jealous or possessive.
Greg, I saw you shaking your head no.
Was I? I didn't.
Yeah, when he said
no.
When he said, Adam, you're going to disappear, you went.
Well, no, because
Greg will be like, oh yeah, Adam will definitely disappear.
No,
more podcasts.
No, not at all. What I was going to say is you didn't disappear. You know, like when you were dating people, we still did this. We still got together. I mean, geez, we were getting together more, I think, when you were dating somebody and doing music stuff and creative stuff.
The pros of dating someone in another country, because I have to I have to live my life fully here.
Thing, right?
No, I'm kidding, but it is kind of cool.
I think, yeah, okay, so the disappearing while in a relationship thing, I think
like this
does
topic.
kind of get to me. Yeah, it kind of gets to me because I don't necessarily agree with being like, okay, hey, I'm in a relationship, okay, bye.
Yeah.
You know, I think, and I'm dating somebody that also does this. Like, we keep in touch with our friends. We keep in touch with our family. I mean, I call you probably twice a week.
Oh, yeah, you're fantastic.
You know, I try to like keep tabs on my friends because these are people that are really important, and especially people from Delaware, you know, that I grew up. I try to keep in touch with all my chef friends, and I do my best, and, you know, my phone's always open as well.
Yeah.
But I was always the guy that would get left behind when my friends got into relationships, you know? So I think I made it a point early on to be like, when I am dating somebody, I'm going to do my best to also have the space to have friends in my life. And
yes,
if the person I'm dating doesn't respect that, then that's not a person I want to be with. So 100%. That was important for me when I started dating, that I did have the space to have my friendships and my family life and all of that. You know what I mean?
Yes. My friends have said, they've said, we feel like you disappear or talk less when you're in a relationship. And I oftentimes say it's not intentional. It's like, if I'm texting people on my phone, I have friends. I text my friends, and then I find a girlfriend. Like, this person makes you feel really good, so you text your girlfriend a little bit more, and you're just not thinking about texting these other people quite as much. But I'm like, I'm still here. But it's like, it's not intentional necessarily, and that's what I think I understand about people getting in relationships. Yeah. It's not intentional when their time and their attention is taken by this other very important person in their life, you know.
And I also think it is an age thing, a maturity thing too. I think like once you get to a certain point, I believe like when you do start dating someone now, I think you will have the space in your life to be like, hey, look, I can't talk as much as I used to, but like, let's schedule time. Let's schedule time that we can have catch up.
Oh yeah.
Like that's where I see you at now, right? Like I don't think you're the type of person that would just disappear on somebody. Like
no.
I mean, I'm in a relationship and I make cold calls still.
Yeah.
Like I try to call people on my way back from work at night, but
I don't think that happened with you and Kim, because I mean, you and I would get together periodically. I mean, all throughout. I never really noticed that. Did you do that at all with other friends, or do you feel like other friends felt you disappeared or anything like that for a time being? Or
I think I did. I mean, there was definitely crews of people that I hung out with before I met Kim.
Yeah,
and some of that did fall by the wayside, but I didn't lose any of those friends. Like there were people that they had their own life going on as well. Like they had moved to places and things. So
it wasn't you didn't especially if they live in other states and stuff. I mean, it's not like you're getting together every week like I do with some of my buddies who live, around here. Like I'm seeing people often because I'm not seeing a girl, so I'm going to spend time with, other friends and stuff. But, well, speaking of love, by the time this episode comes out, Valentine's Day will have passed. But we did want to touch on it briefly. Just a small little boop.
Just a boop.
Are you doing anything for Valentine's Day?
It's a made-up holiday by the card makers to make more money, man.
Yeah.
I mean, and it is, but this is the first time. It is beautiful to an extent. I mean, I don't think Valentine's Day, and I believe this too, especially working in the food service industry. I believe that Valentine's Day is dying.
Really? Why? Because people aren't going out as much.
I think people are realizing like how stupid it is to have one day out of the year to celebrate love, and it's like I don't know, Greg. Do you agree with me? We're like doesn't Valentine's Day kind of not make sense if you are in a relationship? You're like, well, why do I need one night?
Right.
Like, what's so special about February 14th?
Why aren't you celebrating each other
than any other day?
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah, I mean, isn't it just like your birthday though? Like you need a day to celebrate how special you are. Like every year, it's like any other holiday,
you were
right?
Born. It's the day. See, that's different. Your birthday's the day you were literally introduced into this world.
Yeah, but I don't know.
Without your birthday, Adam, we wouldn't have you. Without Valentine's Day.
But my life means nothing without a relationship. So, I mean, that would be like my new birthday. I'm kidding. I'm joking. Oh my gosh, guys. I love how everybody listens to me think I'm pathetic. And an a-hole, probably. Oh, it's the gym.
I don't know.
Podcast.
I just think it doesn't make sense. Valentine's Day to me doesn't make sense.
It's sweet.
What's different for Valentine's Day than your anniversary?
Oh, I forgot about that. I guess that is kind of the Valentine's Day of the relationship world.
Like what? Like your anniversary. Your anniversary. What's more important? Your anniversary or Valentine's Day?
And I guess Valentine's Day applies it applies to people who aren't in relationships too. So like it could be a date or somebody you're dating, or
could it be beyond us, as in like beyond the fellas? Because I know maybe this is wrong. Maybe this is the
Greg coming at us.
Overly male or overly masculine. What's the word for it?
The hyper masculine,
the mansplaining version of it, where the women like appreciate Valentine's more. They like to have that day, and if you skip it, you could be in trouble.
Yeah. But I think that's fair. I mean, but Valentine's Day can apply to everyone. I mean, it's just a fun kind of made up holiday where, everyone can appreciate each other. I mean, I remember in kindergarten, we all used to buy little like hearts and notes for everyone, regardless of, gender or anything. So it's just a day to like appreciate each other, really, if you can.
I guess this is coming from somebody who's worked in the food service industry, and I'm just kind of over the holiday. I
don't blame you.
It's like, I don't get it. It's a bunch of two tops that come in. For those of you who don't know what that means, it means it's a table of two, and you really don't make a lot of money. It's busy, but you don't make a lot of money because a bunch of two people,
that's true.
two all day.
And you have those crappy limited menus where I can't get the mac and cheese that I want. So
I was just gonna say that.
I'm joking, but actually, why do you guys do that? It's just to be more efficient, right? You just have a set
more
menu.
Efficient, so we don't have sense. It's just to like help with flow.
And if you're gonna make less money that day anyway, it probably helps.
Why not?
A little bit. Yeah. I'm joking with you. I totally understand why restaurants do that, by the way.
Oh, dude, yeah. It's
don't
funny
hate me.
because I don't hate you.
Okay.
Never hate you. But yeah, you know what, Greg? That's a really good point, though, about the women, because I think that's a conversation you need to have. Like, I would talk to Liz and be like, hey, what do you think about Valentine's Day? Because I don't, like, you also just had Christmas a month and a half ago. She's not a big, she always works on Valentine's Day. She always plays. Like, she's playing at a hotel in Charleston and I'm working. You know what I mean? So, like,
You could still get her a bouquet of flowers or something, you know?
Okay, yeah, okay. I got her a Polaroid camera. Okay, got her a Polaroid camera.
Oh, cute.
So we could like start like a little like Polaroid wall. But like she's also talked about selling Polaroids as merch, so it's like, okay, look, here's something that you can use.
Perfect.
You got a legit retro Polaroid that like spits out
pictures? No, not a retro.
It's not from 1986, Greg. No,
because
I used to have one.
It's a newer Polaroid. It does spit out the picture.
They have them at Target
Liz got me.
Yeah, it's cool.
Yeah, but then Liz got me this label maker.
I need one of those.
That is attached to an app.
Yeah.
So we can label the photos when they come out. Because she knew I was getting her this. I was like, hey, so I'll let you know I got you this. She bought me this label maker. So
that's fan. Oh, it's cool. It's funny because I was just thinking about getting one of those. But I think one thing I do like about Valentine's Day, I was listening to a divorce lawyer who was on the Lex Friedman podcast, and he was talking about what helps relationships continue and all that stuff. And he said one thing that people can do, especially when they get into a sort of a stale part of the relationship, is like leave little notes for each other. So if one of you starts to do it, leave little notes like, oh, I just think you're the most beautiful woman in the world, or your cooking's amazing, or I can't wait to see you tonight, or whatever. Like leave little random notes like that stuff. He's like, I've seen it transform marriages and relationships from dull to just, through the roof sort of thing, where you just, I guess I could see this, where you kind of, after a while, you can take each other for granted. I mean, I do that with my friends and my family too sometimes, where I'm like, I forget how special these people are to me, and doing those little things like getting a gift or leaving a note, how much that can just, oh, this person really does love me. And they're like vocalizing it,
Plus, it's nice just getting a note,
It is.
Yeah.
I appreciate it too. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, we've talked about love languages on this show before.
Yeah.
Words of affirmation.
Yep. And I think that works for everybody, even if that's not your love language. But you're right. Doing something that genuinely the other person will appreciate, if that's a gift or a note or a massage or whatever,
Yeah. I mean, we have the text message now, so just like sending a text throughout the day, be like, hey, really love you. We do that with each other. Hey, man, hope you have a great day.
Have a great day. The calls. I mean, in the calls you call me more than I call you, but
there's no counting here. There is no. It is not. I'm not keeping track as I write down here in my notes.
Yeah. Or even do that with Greg. I mean, Greg, we always want to tell you how much we appreciate your effort on the podcast, and even though you enjoy doing it, I think there's something about verbalizing it and just saying, "Hey, thank you,"
Yeah. And back to the thing you guys were saying about not always being like the accounting of who calls who. Like, I have a friend like that, my friend John, and it doesn't matter. Like if I don't talk to him for like 3 months or 6 months or something like that, because both of us get busy. He's doing the glass thing and the art thing, and he gets busy with that. I get busy with my job. But when we catch back up again, which we always do, it's like we never left off. It's like, oh, we were hanging out last week, and it was like, no, that was 3 months ago.
And you don't take it personally that you haven't talked in a while. It's like, we haven't talked and we talk, and it's awesome. Yeah.
Yes.
That's good chemistry right there. That's beautiful. Can we please, for me, can we do the Doodle game before we do the mental health check and wrap up? Please?
Yes. But who's drawing who? That's what I want to know.
So I saw this Doodle game on a podcast. I thought it was really fun. We're all going to doodle each other. We're going to doodle a picture of each other. You can use this at the same time, and we'll just chit chat while we're doing it. We can take about a minute to do it. It doesn't have to be beautiful. Think of a caricaturized version of each other. Oh, yeah. So how about this? I'll draw Ruben. Ruben, you draw Greg. Greg, you draw me. How about that?
Okay, caricaturized version.
Yeah, so it can be as silly or goofy as you want. You know what I mean?
All right, Greg, you want to put a timer up?
Put that music on. I got a timer right here. It's, okay, I'll track a minute going starting from now. Okay, Ruben's super tan, so we can still talk. Or I'll just talk awkwardly to myself. It's okay.
I guess I'm going more like abstract with mine.
Kind of need to like. Oh, I drew the calf muscle on the wrong side. Oops.
Oh yeah, get my stellar calves.
Oh, this looks terrible.
Yeah, mine looks awful too.
Oh my gosh, I can't draw hands.
Greg, can you look up real quick? Okay, cool.
Drawing the Mona Lisa over here. Gotta get an accurate representation.
I'm terrible at drawing. This is horrible.
This is great, dude. This is so funny.
Time check. Time.
Oh, it's been 1 minute. Give me one more minute. Shoot.
Okay, I'm done.
Done?
Well,
Pencils down.
I figure.
Sharpies down.
Yeah, I don't know how
I
detailed.
don't have any color. This is terrible.
Yeah,
wait.
well, that's the whole point, dude. Mine looks bad.
Okay, yeah, well, they're supposed to look bad. Okay, hold yours up to the camera, Ruby. You can go first.
Wait, you who wants to go first?
I mean, it doesn't matter. I can go. You want to go first?
You go first.
Okay.
You drew me.
Can I hold it up to this camera, Greg?
Sure, go ahead. Here, yeah.
Okay.
And Ruben can't see that, unfortunately.
He can't see that? Okay, do the other one.
Production difficulty.
What is that?
You have bulging muffles. I circled your calves.
What are
I meant
all
to draw
my
bigger.
calves?
Your calves are
What does my
huge.
shirt say?
It says The Strokes. It's like a vintage band T-shirt that nobody
that's
really knows
good.
anymore.
Okay.
There you go. It's stupid. Okay,
Okay,
great.
it's my turn.
Okay, go ahead.
It's your turn.
Or Greg, do you want to go?
I can go if you want me to. Mine's
Go ahead,
terrible.
Greg. Yeah, you go first, Greg. That's good.
All right.
Oh man. Oh boy.
I just drew a head. Oh, hold it back a little bit. Bring it back a little bit. Oh, with the hat? I look like an alien. At least you made my face nice and chiseled and skinny.
Okay.
That's good. That's what I need.
Okay,
And I give you some stubble at the bottom, too.
Oh, good. Make my goatee look better than it actually does. That's good.
Mine's not bad, but it definitely.
Here, give me that.
Mine does not look like Greg. I tried to get sideburns in the ears of there, and a Seattle Sonics t-shirt.
Oh, jeez. Hey,
Well,
you know what? You drew me better than I look. I like it.
The face is cool. Like, it looks very artistic. What is? Oh, that's the shirt he's wearing now. That's good, dude.
I did my best.
Ruben, are you artistic? Like, have you been a doodler or artist?
I'm
at all?
definitely
Like-
autistic.
Oh, shut up.
Definitely on that spectrum.
That's very
That's
offensive.
bad.
We're gonna have to bleep that
That's
out.
a bad joke. Bleep.
No, I'm kidding.
I'm on. No, I
I'm
feel
right
like
away.
I
Wait, are
definitely am on that.
Oh, okay.
I think so.
I feel like everyone
think-
thinks they are these days.
But I
Yeah,
feel
don't
like
know.
I think it's a spectrum. I think everyone is on that spectrum somewhere.
Yeah.
Some people more than others, obviously.
But
Yeah.
I've actually said that to Kim about myself.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I feel like anyone who is artistic is a little bit on that autistic spectrum.
I wish I had a little bit more of that so I could focus more on stuff and get obsessed with something. I think it's good. I think it's a good thing to do because it can make your career a little bit better. You get good at stuff. I don't know. Okay, before I offend somebody, let's do mental health check, and then we'll see you guys later.
All right.
All right. I'll go first. On a scale of 1 to 10, how are you doing mental health wise? I'd say today. Actually, last week I was probably at like a 5 one day. I felt really, really bad about myself. Felt bad being single. Felt bad. All that. And then I went out with my buddy. I ate a bunch of French fries. I had a drink, and it made me feel a lot better. And then the next day, I've been good for the rest of the week. So I went from a 5 to a 10 in about a week. So
5 to a 10. Wow.
or 5 to like an 8. 8's like normal, whatever.
Okay.
Yeah.
Wow.
Okay. Greg, you
So
want to
good.
go next?
Yeah, sure. I am doing excellent today. I ran my first ever official signed up for 5K.
Good.
And I don't know, it was just fun. It was fun to go out there and put yourself out there. So I'd say I'm at about like an 8.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Awesome.
Also,
man.
Greg's being modest. He ran a 9-minute mile, everybody. So
that's
he averaged
awesome.
a 9-minute mile,
Oh my
which
gosh,
is
I can't do that.
insane.
Ew.
And I was also running way too fast and pushing my heart rate way too far.
But still, you still did it.
That's awesome. What about you, Ruben?
This was a tough week. Not gonna lie to you guys. I think early in the week, so Monday I had a sleep study,
Mm-hmm.
and what happens is because of that, those are my 2 days off, Monday and Tuesday. I didn't really get a chance to rest. I think Wednesday night I was just in a bad mood all day. I was missing my friends. I was missing my family. I probably like a 3 out of 10. I was not doing very good early.
Thanks for
this
being
week.
honest, man. Yeah.
But I think this is what happens. And so for me, and it's funny, I talked to a woman at work about this. I was like, yeah, last night I was just in this weird mood, and I feel like I woke up in a weird mood, and like I'm missing my family. She's like, yeah, I moved here. She's like, it took me about a year to get to that point where like it didn't happen normally. So, I told, Liz was like, hey, what's wrong? And I told her, I was like, I'm just missing my family. And I wasn't feeling super rejuvenated. But now, today, probably about a 7.5.
Kind of made your way back.
The week.
Yeah.
Yeah. And it's the end of the week. I think I'm ready to just kind of start my weekend, kind of chill before Valentine's Day. I think Liz and I are going to try to go to Charleston again. And we're trying to get out of here. So we're realizing that for our creative souls and our like minds, we need to get out of Myrtle Beach every now and then and go to like an artsy town like Charleston. So it was good.
Totally feel that.
Yeah, it was a tough week early on. I wasn't doing too good, and then I am doing good now.
It's good that our lows kind of come and we process them, and then hopefully come out of that. And we feel for anyone listening who is in a low point that feels like they can't get out of the low point, and feel free to reach out to us and talk to us, and we just want to encourage you. Hopefully this podcast helps too. So.
Yeah.
I think it's important for anyone listening to know that it's okay to be going through the low times, just as long as you are trying to focus on what you can do to help you get out of that state. If it's talking to somebody, we're here for anybody 24/7.
Keep
maybe
moving,
not 24/7.
Keep doing stuff. That's right.
But
awesome.
We are here for you guys. So hopefully this gives you some little bit of a relaxation.
Hopefully. Well, thank you guys. Thanks everyone for listening, and be entertained.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah.
Snap into a Slim Jim.